Hari Om and welcome to today's Satsang. So, I am going to read the Mangalacharan and also the Vastu Sangra Vakya. Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate Sadhan Chatushta Sampan Adhikarinam Moksha Sadhan Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshamaha. So Bhagavan Sankracharya, after paying his salutations to the Guru and God, he is going to now talk about that which will give us an insight into the reality, Tattvabodha. And he says, for that the Adhikari is one who is Sadhan Chatushta Sampan. Now, what he does is, he gives a method. Tattva Vivek Prakaram. He gives a method, and the method is, he has used the word in Vastu Sangra Vakya, Sadhan Chatushta Sampan. So he first explains this Sadhan Chatushta, and then he explains the word Tattva Vivek. So in Sadhan Chatushta, a lot of new words came up, like Nitya, Nitya Vivek, Vairag and all. So he kept on explaining each and every of those terms. Now he's taking up Tattva Vivek, and then he will explain each and every term pertaining to that. So this is why it is called Vastu Sangra, because from here all the terms that are explained in the book are coming from here only. So it contains the entire knowledge, this verse itself. So yesterday we had seen this verse. What is inquiry into the truth? Tattva Viveka Kaha Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyeti. So he is defining Tattva Vivek. What is inquiry into the truth? Vivek is inquiry, discrimination, discernment, and Tattva is the truth. So he says, the truth is Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyeti. Other than that, everything else is Mithya. So now he will take these words again. Later on, he will explain what is Atma and so forth. That is how this entire book is written. So we have come across a term called Satyam. What is Sat or Satyam that he has used? Sat is that which is experienced and it is unchanging. Therefore, it is neither negated nor negatable. So, keep this word in mind and this definition in mind, because we are talking of what is the truth. So, every time we want to inquire into the truth, we will refer to this definition. So, Atma Satyam, that which always is, it is experienced and it is not negatable or changing. It does not change. Changeless. Other than this, Tad Anyat, other than this, Sarvam, everything is Mithya. So now what is Mithya? It is not Asat. Sat was that which always is. So what would be Asat? Asat would be that which never is. ठीक है ना? सत और असत तो क्लियर हो गया. सत was experienced and it is always there and unchanging. Asat is never there and it is never experienced. So when it is not experienced, the question of changing or unchanging also should not arise. It is just does not exist. That is asat. Now, the third term is mithya. Mithya is neither sat nor asat. Why is it not sat? Because mithya is changing. And why is it not asat? Because mithya can be experienced. So that which is experienced but changes is mithya. So now we have to be very careful. These are definitions and we don't challenge them. We have to live by these definitions. So one should not start saying, no, this cannot be mithya. If a thing meets this requirement that it is experienced and changing, it is mithya, that's all. So what is the example of mithya? A mirage in the desert. It is experienced, you see water, but it gets negated the moment you go near it. Or you see the seashell lying on the seashore and it shines and you mistake it for silver. So that when you go near again you find it is not silver. So it gets negated. Experience is one, but it gets negated. So this is how we have to apply all this. So discrimination of the real and the unreal. The real is that which remains the same in all the three periods of time. We have discussed this. And he is given the example of asat is that like a barren woman's child. A barren woman may be there, an adopted child may be there, but a barren woman doesn't have its own child. So if you say, I met a barren woman's child born to her, that would be asat. Or you say, I saw a hare with horns, that is asat. Or you say, you saw flowers in the sky, that is asat. Right? And mithya we have discussed is unreal. So Guruji has given another term, unreal for mithya. The mithya is that which is neither sat nor asat for the reasons that we have discussed. Then discrimination of the self and the not self. There are two aspects to life. I, the experiencer of the world, and the world, the experienced. This is paragraph 2 on page 33 of my book. The name, the form, the quality of the experience of every object of the world changes. But I, the experiencer, remains the same. So you may have to spend some time to understand this. Who is this I who is experiencing it? Is it the body? Is it the mind? Is it the intellect? Who is this I? This is very crucial. I am never absent, but the world gets negated with every thought. Therefore, I alone am real and all else other than me is unreal. अब इन्होंने लिख तो दिया, but इसको can we understand it? That we have to see. And if not, then we have to ask the questions. So now, in order to come to this I, which is unchanging, what Acharya has adopted is the technique of Tattvabodha. He'll superimpose some things that are visible to us, which are experienceable, and then he will say, negate it. How will he negate it? By using the definition Atma Satyam. And Atma Satyam means that which is experienced but unchanging and always there. So is what we are confusing Atma with, is it Satyam? Is it unchanging? If it is not, then it is not the Atma. So in real life, you ask somebody to go and detect you, to bring some person or contact some person in a crowd. So you have to define that person. That person is fat, he is short, he is bald, and he is chewing a pan. And his name is, let's say Mr. Srivastav. So when a person goes, he eliminates all those who are not short. He eliminates amongst those short people all those who are not fat. And then he eliminates all those who are not bald. And then he eliminates those who are not chewing upon. And finally, probably he can identify it from Mr. Srivastava. So elimination is one of the techniques used in Vedanta. It is called Vyavritti Laksha. That which is arrived at by negation. And then something is pointed out. We'll come to that later. Let's not confuse you with too many ideas. So we'll read the next shloka which we did read last time, but I'll read again. Now he has used the term Atma Satyam. So he is now asking Atma Kaha. What is Atma? Sthul Shukshma Karan Sharirad Vyatirikta. Vyatirikta is other than. Other than Sthul Sukshma Karan Sharir. Panchkoshatita San. Atit means beyond. Panchkosh are the 5 sheets covering. They're the 5 sheets out of which we are composed. We'll explain this. Guruji will explain it. Avastha Traya Sakshi. Traya is 3. Avastha is the states. Avastha Traya Sakshi means one who is the witness of the 3 states. What are these 3 states? We'll discuss. Satchidanand Swarupa San. It is of the nature of Satchidanand. So, after having eliminated everything by various methods, he says that his nature is Satchidanand. So, nature is, what is the nature of fire? The nature of fire is to produce heat or to burn. That cannot be changed. You cannot have cold fire. So, that way, the nature of Atma is, it is of the nature of Satchit Anand. That also will be explained, what that is. Yas tishtati sa Atma. This, with these features, is such a one is Atma. Right? What is the self? That which is other than the gross, subtle and causal bodies, beyond the 5 sheets, the witness of the 3 states of consciousness, and of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, is the self. When asked to introduce ourselves, we talk at length. I am the son of so and so. My name is X. I am a Brahman, born in India, in a Hindu family, graduated as an engineer, working in a multinational firm as an executive, earning a 5-figure salary, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 75 kilograms, fair complexion, fairly intelligent, but bad-tempered, and so on. If we analyze closely, we shall understand that we have talked about ourselves only with reference to something else. With respect to my body, I am 5 feet 10 inches and 75 kilograms. In relation to my father, I am his son. With respect to the firm, I am an executive. With respect to my mind, I am bad-tempered. With respect to my intellect, I am fairly intelligent. The conditioning, upadhi, is a new term you are coming across. The conditioning, upadhi, is that which superimposes its quality on that which remains in its proximity. I'll repeat again, have it readily available to you to understand. The conditioning upadhi is that which superimposes its quality on that which remains in its close proximity. For instance, a colorless crystal appears blue or red when kept near a blue or red color cloth. So, what is the upadhi? The upadhi here is that red cloth which superimposes its redness to the crystal when it is kept near it. So when we say the crystal is red, we are actually referring to the color of its upadhi. It itself is not red. You have to understand this, take a while to understand, ask any question that comes to your mind, because this is a very important concept and the whole of Vedanta is full of this term only. We deal in upadhis only. When the cloth is removed, the crystal is experienced as it is colorless. The three bodies, which are the three bodies? Gross, subtle and causal. The 5 sheets, what are the 5 sheets? We'll explain. And the 3 states of consciousness, that also will tell you what is that, are conditionings of the self. What is the self? That is the Atma. But because of the close proximity of these 3 things, the 3 bodies, the 5 sheets and the 3 states of consciousness, we confuse the self to be one of these. I, the knower of the conditionings, am different from the conditionings. Right? This, I was telling, these 2 verses are very important to understand because they go to the heart of Vedantic logic. Okay, what are the 3 bodies? Sharir Traya. Each one of us has not one but 3 bodies. The gross body or the sthul sharira, in Sanskrit is the sthul sharira, in English it is the gross body, is the one perceived by us through our senses. So definition is clear. Whatever is perceived by the senses is the gross body. So these things you'll have to memorize or keep in mind so that whenever it is said it is gross body, you know immediately it is being perceived by the senses. It is nourished to its present size by food. The subtle body, Sukshma Sharir, cannot be perceived by the senses. That is why it is called subtle. But is known to each one of us. For instance, I know when I am hungry. Others may not know of it till I tell them or show signs of it at the physical level. The causal body, Karan Sharir, as it is called in Sanskrit, is the seat of all our inherent tendencies called vasanas, which are the cause of the other 2 bodies. So depending on what vasanas we are carrying, we get a subtle and a gross body. Why is that? Because the vasanas is how we are going to express ourselves. That is what we want to be. Right? These are the inherent tendencies. So our tendency will require a medium to express. And that medium only that medium will be acceptable which should express these tendencies. So you find so many different kinds of bodies, so many different kinds of mind, so many kinds of intellect, because each one is specific to the vasanas inborn in that body. And therefore, these vasanas are the causal body. They create the other two. The 5 sheets, Panchkosh, they are also called Panchkosh, the 5 sheets. A man wears layers of clothes when he is out in the snow, but removes them when he comes into his centrally heated home. He is different from the clothes and can put on or remove them at will. Similarly, the self has covered itself with 5 sheets, which are nothing but the 3 bodies spoken of above, categorized differently only. The food sheath. What are the 5 sheets? Number 1, the food sheath, called the Annamaya Kosh, is nothing else but the gross body, made up of food. The vital air sheath, Pranamaya Kosh, guides all our physiological activities. The mental sheath, Manomaya Kosh, is the seat of all emotions. The intellectual sheath, Vijnanmaya Kosh, guides the body's activities through the notion of doership. मैं करता हूँ. I am doing this. So, all these 3 bodies put together, the Pranmaya Kosh, the Manomaya Kosh, and the Vijnanmaya Kosh. These 3 together constitute the subtle body. Then, the bliss sheath or Anandamaya Kosh, also called Karan Sharir, is our personality in its unmanifest condition. The vital air sheath, mental sheath, and the intellectual sheath together form the subtle body. I know the different conditions of my bodies and sheaths and am therefore different from them. So, the logic here is that the knower is different from the known. You can write it down or make a mental note of it. The knower is always different from the known. So, for instance, your eyes can see something. That something which the eyes see is different from the eyes. So, eyes is the knower and seen is the known. So, knower is different from the known. Similarly, whatever we grasp through our 5 organs, eyes, nose, ears, etc., they are seen by the mind. So, eyes, ear, nose, etc., they become different from the mind sees them like this. So, the knower is different from the known. Now, these 3 conditions, the bodies or the 5 sheets, are seen by me, that is the self. So, it has to be different from these. Keep this distinction in mind. The 3 states of consciousness, Avastatraya Sakshina, Avastatraya, what are the 3 states? The 3 states of consciousness is the total range of experiences that an individual goes through. In the waking state, Jagrat Avastha, we experience the gross world through our senses. In the dream state, Swapna Avastha, we experience our individual dream world through our mind. In the deep sleep state, Sushupti Avastha, we experience the absence of the world of objects, emotions, or thoughts. Swami Chinmayananda used to call them OET, objects, emotions, thoughts. Objects seen by the senses, perceived by the senses, emotion by the mind, and thoughts by the intellect. I am the witness of all these states. they get mutually negated. What does it mean? When I am waking, I am not sleeping, I am not dreaming. When I am dreaming, I am not waking and I am not in deep sleep. And similarly, in deep sleep, I am not waking and I am not a waker, I am not a dreamer. I am a deep sleeper. So the three states mutually negate each other, but I remain in and through all of them. So I am not the three bodies, Sthul, Sukshma, Karan, or the five sheets. So that is by negation. I am not these. Now this is, I remain constantly a witness. This is another form of indicating the object that you are seeking. One I told you was negate. You are going to look for somebody, you negate, no, this is not this, this is not this. Now the second way is something which is constant. For instance, you go to a town where you are told there is a river flowing by. So you ask somebody, where is the river? So he says, you see the banana plantation there? A river flows along that plantation. So you start walking to the banana plantation. This example is the example of Tattvabodha Lakshan. Tat means the bank, which remains constant. Tattvabodha Lakshan, that using which you can reach that place. So avastha traya sakshi is always the witness. So knowing this, you start observing who is that which is always the witness. Got the point? Now Sarup, third Lakshan. Three ways of knowing something. Sarup Lakshan. Existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchidanand. On negating the not self, what remains is pure self of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. Satchidanand Swarupa. Existence, Sat, is that which cannot be negated under any condition. Who can negate the negator? Therefore, I ever exist. Consciousness, Chit, is the knowledge principle that illumines all conditionings. Bliss, Anand, is more easily understandable than the other two. Conditionings are limitations of time, space and objects. Desh, Kal, Vastu. Desh is space, Kal is time, Vastu is objects. The self being free from all conditionings is infinite and infinity is bliss. What is bliss? Which is infinite. This also apply your mind. Why is it so? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Knowing my true nature, I get liberated from all limitations of all conditionings. I get liberated from the limitations of all conditionings. Should we then not strive for self-knowledge? So, if we want infinite bliss, then we must know ourselves, which is infinite bliss in itself. Sri Sankracharya now leads us into a more elaborate description of the above definitions. Any questions? So you have to go through all this, let it sink in, and there should be a lot of questions because it's not an easy topic. A lot of thoughts have been left with the reader, so let's imbibe them. I'll say the closing prayer in the absence of any questions. Yes, please.
Actually, when we were talking of the three bodies, subtle and cosmic body, so you said cosmic body is the seeds of all our inherent tendencies, vasanas, right?
Yes.
So this is, when you say inherent, means we are born with them.
Yes, we are born with them.
Acquire them as we grew up.
No, we are born with them. That is why we got this body, that is why we got those parents, that is why we got the place we are born in. To be able to express those inherent tendencies, we need the right medium.
So basically, I mean, that inherent karma.
Sorry?
The reason we got that particular inherent tendency or a vasana, is that something to do with our karmas?
So it has got something to do with your karmas done with the attitude of rag and dvesh. I want this and I don't want this. So when you say I want this and I don't want this, you create that tendency. And when you are born with that tendency of I want this and I don't want this, and you will choose that medium which best expresses that tendency or those tendencies. Right? Okay, I'll say the concluding prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. I pray to God that all of us may be blessed, that we reach our destination. Hari Om.